If you like smashing heads in and toying with people before slicing them to pieces, then, well, you need help. However, if you like to play medieval games with intricate mechanics, high skill cap, and very rewarding combat, you've come to the right place. Having been through every game the medieval hack and slash genre has to offer, Mordhau has a place amongst the best of them. With simple controls that grow in complexity as you get better and face more crafty opponents. It's a game where the vast majority of the time the better player will win in a duel. And on the larger scale, battles are chaotic and strategic in their own right. There are a huge range of default classes to pick from, as well as the ability to customize your ideal setup to suit your playstyle. Certain maps will offer horseback, which shakes up the urgency on the battlefield, making you play more around the terrain. Expect banter in the chat, some more explicit than others as things tend to heat up pretty quickly, particularly due to the amount of mind games you can play on your opponents with the combat mechanics. We found people start to get riled up quite often. The game was released mid-2019, still gets regular updates and has a community feel reminiscent of my days of playing Chivalry 1. You're never too far away from someone role-playing a bard on the battlefield as his mate pounds you into oblivion.
Nice.
There are no battle passes or store purchases other than some skins you can get directly from the Steam store page, as you're good to just play without some form of microtransaction offer constantly flying on your screen. If you enjoy this video, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe. Growing the channel will allow us to spend more time on making more and better videos.
At a glance, Mordhau seems like another Chivalry clone that puts players into the shoes of a soldier on the medieval battlefield, to run around hacking, slashing, bludgeoning and stabbing the other team to death. However, as you start playing, it's clear that the game is a departure from Chivalry, and has carved its own path as a challenging, technically complex and fun game with a higher skill ceiling than all of its competitors. Because of this, the game is tough on beginners, and if you're jumping from Chiv into Mordhau, you'll have to adjust your playstyle from the more casual and arguably easier style of Chivalry to the more difficult timing-oriented style of Mordhau. Blocking, for example, in Mordhau has to be timed properly because you can't hold it. You also have to make sure you block in the right direction to the enemy's attack. You need to manage stamina or risk having your weapon knocked out of your hands. And you need to position yourself far more carefully because 1vx fights in this game are nothing short of a death sentence. There's also a wider range of equipment that can be used in far more combinations to get the hang of, even if it's just learning the timing of how to approach enemies with particular weapons. For example, I personally really can't stand fighting against a Zweihander. I struggle with the timing and I struggle with the distance, and it's something I need to get better at. Fortunately, you're given a massive amount of flexibility when it comes to character creation, and the range of weapons, armor, perks and gear really lets you fine-tune the type of character you want to play. Whether that be in the front lines as a melee fighter, a tank, a speedy rapier boy, or a ranged archer or crossbowman. You can even decide to have no weapons and put all of your points elsewhere into things like armor and perks, meaning you have to scavenge whatever weapons you find across the battlefield. There really is a massive amount of flexibility and customization in this game, which to me is one of the best points in the game in general, and a far better customization system to games like Civ. And you're able to take these builds into a number of different game modes, from the 64-player battles in Frontline to other game modes like Team Deathmatch, Battle Royale, Horde and Skirmish. Mordhau really does offer a great medieval experience, the only real downside being the new player experience, where new starters will inevitably find it difficult facing off against veterans of the game, especially given the different number of tactics that can be employed to get an advantage over your opponent. Even simple attack cancellations and feints can make the difference between a win and a loss, not to mention some of the more cheesy tactics. So if you're new and you're struggling with the game, just bear with it for a while. You will get better over time and it becomes more and more enjoyable. And there are specific servers that allow you to practice your fighting with people looking to improve in the same way.
A great thing about Mordhau is how easy it is to just drop in a quick game without it being a huge time commitment. Overcoming your enemies are incredibly rewarding, only feeling better as you improve and successfully use the clever tricks at your disposal, like faking attacks to bait the block, leaving them exposed for the final blow. We found a lot of the combat to be quite unforgiving, which was especially felt when switching to another loadout. It was quite common for us to be topping the leaderboard with one weapon and be completely useless when we tried something else. However, it's probably just for lack of practice, as you'll readily find someone raking in the kills with every weapon you come across. Another standout feature is the potential for cosmetic customization. Every so often you'll find that guy looking like some royal knight in that quality drip. Or this. As for the experience and feel, there's an interesting variety of objectives on each map. You could be breaking down or defending walls or a gate, or even taking down a commander which is played by one of the players on that team. It truly feels like you're progressing through the map and reacting to outcomes of the most recent battle. Mordhau is an easy recommendation for those looking for a quality title that doesn't have any major game-breaking flaws. Apart from a number of model and visual glitches, the gameplay is intricate with a skill ceiling that you're unlikely to come close to. The biggest downside for us is this huge divide in skill between new and veteran players. We didn't feel like there was any attempt at matchmaking going on, however, if you're up for the challenge, it's one of the more highly rewarding games in this genre. If you're looking for similar games to Mordhau, take a look at our reviews for Chivalry 2 and for Honor. All fantastic games in their own right, each with something unique to offer to their player base. We're the Bullet Sponges, and we'll see you in the next one.